Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the Israel Brief, brought to you by Lay of the Land. And we are very proud to bring you news from Israel, based in Israel, Monday to Thursday every week. I'm Rolene Marks with today's top stories. Earlier today, it was announced that former Egyptian President Hosni Mubarak has died at the age of 91. Mubarak was Egypt's leader for 30 years until the Arab Spring of 2011. When news broke of his passing, Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu expressed his condolences on social media, and we remember that during his term as president, Mubarak tried several times to broker peace between Israel and our Palestinian neighbors. Yesterday we brought news to you about the situation in the south of Israel, that the violence was escalating between Israel and the Palestinians following the Palestinian Islamic Jihad claiming retaliation for one of their terror operatives being eliminated by the IDF as he tried to place a IED along the border with Gaza. Nearly 60 rockets were fired from the Gaza Strip into Israel, one landing in a playground in Sderot. Thank goodness the children were in a safe zone. However, as of 11:30 last night, a ceasefire has been in place, brokered by the UN Special Envoy to the Middle East, Nikolai Miladenov, and Egypt. So far, there is a tacit calm holding over the south of Israel, although the IDF have warned that there is a possibility that violence could flare. Hamas has taken a lot of criticism for their inability to rein in rogue terror groups, as Hamas has control over the Gaza Strip, and despite sometimes their language to the contrary, they are not interested in an escalation. Meanwhile, conditions have been relaxed for the citizens of Gaza, and the fishing waters are back to normal and aid is being let in as per normal. On the Israeli side of the border, roads have been opened again, as well as train lines. However, today schools remained closed, and we await to hear from Israel's Home Front Command section of the IDF to see what tomorrow's orders will bring. But it is our hope that the ceasefire does hold. In other news, we also spoke about the anti-Semitic carnival that took place in Aalst, which is a couple of miles away from the Belgian capital. It drew worldwide condemnation for its images of horrendous anti-Semitism and racism. And we have heard from Belgium's Prime Minister, as well as the EU Parliament's executive arm, who have said that they will be investigating whether this contravenes any kind of law, and have instructed the Justice Ministry to investigate. And a quote from the mayor of Aalst, who is known for his far-right leanings, he has said that this is all just a little bit of fun and all in the spirit of free speech. But we remember very well the kind of images and the kind of speech what this leads to. And sadly, this is a trend that seems to have been picked up in Spain at a carnival in Campo de Cristano. It was noted that marchers wore both Nazi uniforms as well as victims of the Holocaust prison uniforms, and carried Israeli flags. This is absolutely unacceptable, and this is just 75 years after the liberation of the Auschwitz death camp, which is just one of several death camps that were responsible for the killing of millions of Jews. And we remember that over 6 million Jews, as well as many others, were killed in the Holocaust, but it was specifically Jews that were hunted down and marked for extermination, and that it started with images and rhetoric like that. Those are the top stories making headlines in Israel today. Don't forget that you can check out our content online at www.layoftheland.online. If you feel like a beer, crack one open as you read Dave Kaplan's article, which is all about brewing beer in Israel. It's not guides how to brew your own beer, but gives you a little bit of a trip through who is making Israeli beer famous throughout the world. And if you miss it on our website, you can check out our Facebook page. While you're there, give us a like or a follow and share our content. And if you feel like dropping us a message, that is more than welcome. And don't forget that you play a role in making sure that Israel's news gets out to the world. You can do this by subscribing to our YouTube channel at The Israel Brief. So share our content. It goes a long way to helping people understand what the situation is like for Israelis and for global Jewry. So with the Tuesday edition of the Israel Brief, I'm Renee Marks, and we'll chat again tomorrow.